welcome back to one of the very first crossover events that we've done with the Limited Experience podcast and Crossing the Mic. Today we have a very special guest. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Robert O'Connor. I'm actually the world's first Guinness World Record holder for the largest collection of Ghostbusters memorabilia.
How we doing today?
It is Friday, thankfully.
So, tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into Ghostbusters and then Ghostbusters collecting.
Well, I'm. It's quite a long story. But my childhood wasn't the greatest growing up. My mom and dad did what they thought was best for me. It's one of those things, moving around a lot, didn't grow up with money, just a lot of things. But when I was a kid, Ghostbusters, the real Ghostbusters cartoon was out. Ghostbusters 2 was being filmed or being made. And I kind of got hooked on the cartoon, saw the first movie on VHS, played it until, it completely wore out. And, like I said, the second one was being filmed, so went and saw the second movie in theaters. Was probably a little too young to go see that movie in the theaters, but I went and saw it, and, like I said, I fell in love with it. I first started collecting Ghostbusters when I was around that age, around 4 years old. My grandfather got me a Kenner plush Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, and that's where it all started, and been collecting ever since.
Very cool. Well, the collection that we see behind you looks pretty wide.
Thank you.
You need to do that one day.
Man, I got so much stuff. I don't know what to do with all of it.
Yeah, my collector's room is a mess right now, and I'm sure a lot of other collectors have the same problem with no room.
Mm-hmm. Just never enough shelf space or
never
room.
Enough shelf space.
Hmm.
So,
yeah. So for the to get the Guinness Book of World Records for that. So what's the process for that?
It is a very, very lengthy process to get it. You have to submit an application. That application has to be approved by Guinness. And then there is a list of requirements that they send you saying, hey, this is what we expect. This is what is needed. Because my collection actually, even though the record was set at 1,221 items, my collection's actually closer to 5,000 items. There's a lot of things that Guinness doesn't consider memorabilia that a collector considers memorabilia. But when I first started doing it, I want to say it took about 3 to 4 weeks for them to even approve the application. And then from there, it took me, no joke, because I work a 9 to 5, and I also do side jobs with cars. I work on cars, and it literally took me from getting up, going to work, my 9 to 5, getting off work, being on the computer until 10 o'clock at night, and then Saturdays and Sundays I was on the computer 10 hours. And I did that straight for 6 months to do the paperwork and get everything that they needed to even attempt the world record. So it is very, very time consuming and costly. And I have OCD, so I'm sure that doesn't help with that kind of stuff. But so I did all that, and then I did the record attempt, and then I think it took about another 3 weeks to finish the paperwork, all the extra stuff, and have that all submitted. And then it took them it was some crazy amount of time for them to look at everything, review everything, make sure that I have everything that they requested, all the information that they wanted. Like I said, it's just a slew of stuff. And then, of course, they have to review it. And this was all done during the height of the pandemic. So it's like everybody's scrambling around, trying to get people to work remote. And Guinness was doing the same thing. So it took like an extra, 6 weeks or something for them to look at everything and approve everything. And then, after that you get, assuming you get it, they notify you that you've won, or, you've gotten the world record. And then, if you don't, then they inform you to also, what you needed to do or what didn't fly. And that's what it took me anyways to get the world record for this.
So you're saying that for them, they don't consider some things memorabilia. Like what things didn't they consider?
You can literally have the shirt off of Dan Aykroyd's back and it doesn't count. They're very particular about what they consider memorabilia and what they don't. And a lot of it has to do, because I don't collect anything from the reboot. For a lot of reasons. I know you enjoyed the reboot. I'm sorry. But
it was a good movie. It was not as a Ghostbusters movie, but as a movie, I thought it was good.
Well, so there's like I said, there's a lot of stipulations and stuff, and a lot of things that they require, and the reboot stuff doesn't count in the world record because it's geared strictly towards the 1989 movie or 1984 movie and whatever is associated with that movie. So like I said, you can literally have Dan Aykroyd's flight suit from the movie. It doesn't count. You can have Ecto 1. It doesn't count. You can have any of the movie props. It doesn't count. So there's a lot of other things that go into that list of stuff that they don't. And I don't mean it's like just one or two things that they don't consider. Like they have a list, and it's got to be 12 to 15 things that they don't consider memorabilia.
Wow.
That's crazy.
It is. It's nuts. I was
wow.
I was very shocked when they send that over, because when you first apply for it, they kind of just give you like a real, and I mean like real watered down version of the do's and don'ts. And then when you get approved, it's like, like 7 pages of yes, no, yes, do this, make sure you have this, you have to have this at a certain angle. Like, I mean, it is very, it's crazy the amount of prep work that goes into doing it, let alone the work, and then let alone doing the record.
That's crazy. And I would imagine that having that many collectibles, your house has got to be filled.
It's, believe it or not, everything is in my one room. My one room I did a measurement for it, for a show that I was in. I want to say that because they needed to know how big the room was. I want to say that the room's like 12 by 12, but I have stuff you can see behind me. I have stuff stacked all the way to the ceiling, and then I have stuff stacked underneath. I got stuff all down through here. It's all the way to the floor, So
Wow.
it is very, my room is filled.
So, have you met any of the original cast members?
I've been lucky and fortunate enough to meet Dan Aykroyd and Ernie Hudson 2 times. Everybody's favorite Bill Murray, that would be great. I've never met Bill. I've never met anybody else. I have met, the gentleman's name escapes me, but he played, in Ghostbusters 2, he played Major D, the gentleman in the restaurant that called the cops on the Ghostbusters when they came in their pajamas. And and all covered. He's like, "No, you got to get out of here," and whatever. And he ended up calling the cops. I can't remember the gentleman's name. He actually played the bad guy. He played opposite of Patrick Swayze's character in Steel Dawn. I can't remember his name, but I've met him, and I've met Peter Mosen, who was also in that same scene when Ray goes, "Yeah, it's all underneath the museum," and he goes like this, and he just throws all that slime everywhere. The girl that it landed on, Peter Mosen, that was Peter Mosen's date in the movie, and I've met him a couple times also.
Awesome.
Sorry, I'm having to look that up.
The Major D? Yeah, I can't, like I said, I can't remember his name off the top of my head. I got photos with him, and I had him sign a Ghostbusters 2 Laserdisc, because when I do meet anybody, not just strictly Ghostbusters, but I try to have them sign a Laserdisc or an LP of a soundtrack or something, because when you put it up on the wall, it frames so good. It looks really, really good. But I had loaned that to a museum. I'm trying to see if I got one of those signed in here and framed. I think I don't. I think they're hanging up in my living room. But anyways, I have them sign it whoever I meet, and I have it framed and I hang it on the wall because it makes really good art wall, or wall art, and then it's a good conversation piece, and they're cool to look at,
Oh, yeah.
Plus, you got a lot of people who don't even know what Laserdisc is anymore.
Yeah, it's getting to the point now where it's like, what's VHS? What's cassette? It's not so much Laserdisc anymore. It's like, I saw this thing on, it had been like YouTube Shorts or TikTok or something of that line, and there was a girl trying to open the cassette tape, and she couldn't figure out how to open it. And I'm like, oh my God, that makes me feel so old.
So I found him. I don't know how to pronounce his name. It's Christopher Niami.
Yeah, that's him. Yeah. Yeah, he played the villain in Steel Dawn with Patrick Swayze, and he was in Ghostbusters 2 for a brief second. He's done a lot of stuff. Very good actor. I met him at a convention here in Strongsville, Ohio. It's actually a really cool convention. They deal with a lot of older movies, and it's more B-list. Well, it's probably more like F-list celebrities, where Yeah, it's
Right up
really
my
it's a
alley.
lot of fun, and there are a lot of old stuff there, movie memorabilia. The gentleman that did a lot of the prop work for Evil Dead 2, he was usually up there all the time. And he actually sells some of the props from Evil Dead 2 up there. He signs. It's a blast. It's a lot of Big Chuck and Little John, Big Chuck and Houlihan. What are some of the Gallardi, the Ghoul? It's a lot of stuff like that. But it's they carry everything, a wide range of everything, and it's a really cool old convention type setup, classic movie monsters type stuff.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to
All right. Well,
look
if you
into that one.
after this, I'll give you the name unless you don't mind me name dropping it. I can name drop it if you want. It's up to you. Okay. The name of the convention is called Cinema Wasteland. And there's also another one that takes place in PA called Monster Bash. And they are both, like I said, just real old classic movie monsters. There is the one in Cinema Wasteland does have some adult themed things that you kind of gotta look out for as far as celebrities are concerned.
Say, you can stop selling. You're good. We're already interested.
But wait, there's more. Yeah, for the
made the sale. You're
price
good.
of $25. 3 easy payments. Yeah, but like I said, it's a cool convention. I've met quite a few people there. Like I said, like like not A list, but F list celebrities, it's amazing. It's a lot of fun.
Got that saved. I'll look at it later.
Well, if you ever do go to it, let me know. I'll meet you up there. It's about a half hour, 40-minute drive for me. I know it's a little bit way longer than for you, but
It'll be a little bit more, but
yeah, it's
like
not
it'd be
a very
worth it.
big convention, but it's one of those conventions where you can walk around it 50 times and not see the same thing. It's really weird how that works.
Yeah, we got a local one here.
Well, we got two, but the only one that is really relevant is
it's been consistent since since COVID hit and all that. Is our was it Big Lick Comic Con? Is what they call it? Yeah. And every year they're getting a few new, some bigger names, more names. Because it used to be like maybe 2 or 3. Now I think this coming up in August, I think they have like 6 or 7. Like Billy West is going to be there, Nolan North.
Drawing a blank. You're doing about as good as I am right now with names.
Yeah. I think the original Black Ranger from Power Rangers.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. I can't remember his name, but that guy.
Yeah. Follow him on social media. Yes. Well, last year it was Second, who was also a anime young voice actor.
Yeah,
Jenny Young. Yeah, one of my favorite voice actors. Done some of my.
He's one of the last 2 Rangers that I need to sign my Power Rangers the movie Laserdisc. Him and Amy Jo Johnson. So, yep.
I think I have that on VHS in a box somewhere. I've got some of my VHS tapes. I've got the Star Wars, not the special edition, the original release that I want to watch, but I cannot find a VCR anywhere.
Walmart.
Yeah, but I don't want to spend $200 either.
Goodwill, Salvation Armies. Yeah, they got tons of them. They can't get rid of them. They can't give those away. You might garage sales. Might be able to find something at a garage sale.
Yeah, I need to because I've got the 1990 Captain America movie.
Oh boy!
I mean, don't wrong. I own that on DVD and Blu-ray too, but just watching it on VHS.
It's always a good time being able to break that kind of stuff out. I do it every once in a while. I have I don't have it here. It's at that museum, but I have a Korean version of Ghostbusters 2, and I have a Japanese version of Ghostbusters 1 on VHS. And I was really hoping, I had my fingers crossed that it would be dubbed over, but it's all in subtitles, unfortunately.
So, as far as Ghostbusters go, how would you rate them? Not including 2016. Of course.
I'm trying to remember what was previous. Definitely Ghostbusters 1. That's number 1 on the list. That's where it all kind of stemmed from. Dan Aykroyd's his crazy idea for a movie. So yeah, definitely Ghostbusters 1. I would have to say probably Ghostbusters Afterlife, and then you got to throw the cartoons in there, so probably the real Ghostbusters, and then Ghostbusters 2, and then the Extreme Ghostbusters would probably have to be in the ranking. Ghostbusters, the real Ghostbusters cartoon, a couple of the episodes were actually written by Harold Ramis and Dan Aykroyd, so they kind of follow the movie. So it's kind of like a little bit of a filler before Ghostbusters 2. And the Extreme Ghostbusters, if you guys haven't seen the Extreme Ghostbusters, it's definitely a cartoon to kind of dip your toes in and watch it. It's not very long. There's only one season of it. I don't even remember how many episodes there were. But it is a very adult oriented story. They still keep it kiddish, but it is like there's a Hellraiser inspired episode. There is an episode in there. It's called Back in the Saddle 1 and 2. Which are usually everybody's favorites with the Extreme Ghostbusters, because it's the rookies team up with the original Ghostbusters, and they got to go fight a big bad. But those are really good episodes. There's another one that I can't remember the name of, but it's about this monster who feeds off of bad children. And what he does is he kidnaps them, and they slowly start turning into this monster over time when they do bad stuff. And it's really creepy, some of the stories that they have in there. But it was done, all the artwork and everything, all the animation is done by the same people that did the Men in Black and Godzilla cartoons in the 90s. Yeah.
I gotta love the 90s.
That's all the best stuff. Well, the 80s and the 90s, I would say, some of the best stuff ever. It doesn't compare to anything that's come out, these days.
No,
exactly.
Not in the same way, at least.
And we're all just showing our age at this point.
The gray hairs show my age.
The lack of hair shows. Well, actually, that's just genetics. But
hey, it's less to cut.
It's true. Which I need to do, but that's besides the point.
This is true.
Mm-hmm.
Morning, it's the feeling. Stuck at the wall staring at the setting. It's the drinks, let the music play. Shake your hands, no regret. Tonight this house, it's down to rage. Raise your hands in the air. Catch your drinks, let the music play. Shake your hands, no regret. Tonight this house, it's down to rage. Fight like the devil.
So I know you've done some different interviews and things of that nature. What kind of stuff have you done other than what you're
I've
doing
done
with us right now?
numerous podcasts. I enjoy podcasts because about 90% of the time I connect with you guys. You know, you guys kind of nerd out with me, and hopefully your listeners do too. And it makes them kind of think like, oh yeah, I remember that. You know, it's I enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. I've done a lot of podcasts. I've done a lot of news. I did a show with Adam Richman, the gentleman from Man vs. Food. It's called Adam Eats the 80s with the History Channel. And I've also done a show with it's called Collector's Call on MeTV with Lisa Welchel, who played Blair in The Facts of Life. I did that show. I did a documentary for Japan, which was really, really gnarly. That was a really weird one because they were here for 2 days filming, and they, of course, the director that was here was bilingual, so he was, telling the crew what to do in Japanese, and then he's like telling me, okay, this is what we have to do. But on the other end of he has this phone that he's talking to the producers and another director in Japan. So they're over here at, 6 o'clock in the morning, and we're doing this all day long. And some of these people on the phone in Japan are, it's 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning for them, and they haven't slept. So that was fun. Adam Richman was a blast to film with. He is exactly like he is on TV. He's an amazing person. He's funny. Tons of stories. Oh man, does he have stories that he was talking about. But that was a lot of fun filming that. It's all around good time. I think Adam Eats the 80s. I think you can get part of the episode on YouTube, and then Collector's Call is something that is on a rerun. So you have to go on MeTV, whatever channel that may be for you guys, and you'd have to try to find it on a rerun. The Japanese documentary, I don't remember how they had released that. I want to say that was a how did they release that? I ended up getting a digital version of it, but I don't know how they released it over there. But yeah, it's a good time. It's been a lot of fun. I'm in a extra in a new movie coming out called Chains of Redemption. So that was really wicked trying to film that too. Even the small part that I was in, I don't have any speaking lines, but I'm one of the jurors in the movie, and stuff happens. I don't know how good the movie's going to be. It looked interesting. It was fun. I got the audition. So that was a good time. So I've been in quite a few things. They've been really interesting and fun to do.
So, as far as your collectibles go, do you remember what the first thing you collected was, and what is your favorite item or items?
I can't grab them right now because I'm attached to my phone. But my first item that I had gotten was my Kenner plush Stay Puft Marshmallow Man for my grandfather. I was 4 when I got that. So that definitely is one of my favorite items. I have a lot of items. I have a lot of items that have a lot of sentimental value to me. I have a set of ghost traps. Let me see if I can grab it. Right here is one. Actually, it's the one I needed too. This ghost trap right here was built by me and my uncle, who has passed away. But it's made out of miscellaneous stuff that we had in the garage. Let me see if I can pull it out a little bit further there. Made out of miscellaneous stuff in the garage. I actually had it signed. I was at a charity event, and Big Chuck and Little John were there, and I had nothing else for them to sign. So I was like, here. And they kind of looked at me a little weird, and they're like, oh, okay, no problem, and they signed my ghost trap. So it's a really cool story, and it's, like I said, it was made by me and my uncle, and like I said, he's not around anymore. So I take it's even though it's it looks authentic, it looks real enough, and it's a combination of a couple plans that we had found, and we made it our own. So we didn't duplicate the plans. We kind of looked at it and said, okay, yeah, this is what they did, and we're like, okay, we're going to do it this way because it fits what materials we have and what we're able to make, and so we did it that way. So it means a lot to me, even though it's not 100% screen accurate or anything, but it's got a good story behind it because it's signed by Big Chuck and Little John, and it was made by me and my uncle. I got stuff from birthdays and Christmas, and stuff from people that aren't here anymore in life, and so I have quite a few good couple really good items that I really enjoy, like this right here. So the Ghostbusters 2 sign or logo. It's made out of wood. My grandfather had made this for me. It's actually written on the back. It says, to Bobby from Grandpa Whitmore, 1989. So, like I said, I have a lot of things in my collection that that mean a lot to me, and that are that are some of my favorite items. I have the ecto cooler that me and Adam had drank on. Yeah, that's a thing. That is a thing, and it ended very badly for both of us. But the ecto cooler that me and Adam drank, and Adam Eats the 80s. I think the name of the episode's called Awesome 80s Collections, by the way. But anyways, that's a cool piece to have. I got an opened ecto cooler that me and Adam Richmond, drink, and I got marshmallows from a buddy of mine that's in Australia, Ghostbusters marshmallows, and they never released here in the U.S. So that's cool. It's a lot of stuff that's like that. I have a photo from the gentleman that took all of the photos for Ghostbusters 2. His name's Mark something. I can't remember his name. But anyways, I have one of those that came strictly from Columbia Pictures, the negative from the camera, which is really cool. And it's the scene of, let me see if I can reach it. Hold on. It's the scene of Dan Aykroyd, Harold Ramis, and Ernie Hudson when they're crawling out of the sewer, and they get into a fight after they've been slimed. I don't know if you guys can kind of. There's a glare. I don't know
wow!
If you guys can see that. But that's a really cool conversation piece. Really cool piece of movie history. I have a piece of the Titanic from Ghostbusters 2 also. I got it right here, actually. The miniature that they used, this company actually, I don't know if you guys can see that. But the company that's
real cool.
That I got this from restores props, and when they're unable to restore a prop or parts of the prop, they sell them in individual pieces. So I was lucky enough to grab one of these, which is it's really cool. It's screen used, and it's the Titanic. Like it's it's not a very, it wasn't in the movie for very long, but it is a very iconic scene because you got Chong or
Oh,
Cheech Marin is in the phone booth with the other guy, and he's like, oh, better late than never. It's so so I have quite a few items, like I said, that mean a lot to me. My wife has given me a lot of things. My mom, my dad, who's no longer here, I got stuff from. So those are some of the few favorite things that I have. I could probably go on for another half hour if I were to like, oh yeah, you gotta check this out. I found this, and a lot of them have really interesting backstories, and it's not like I just a lot of this stuff is not like, hey, I just went to the store and I found it on the shelf. It's like, no, I was out at such and such, and I stumbled across this person who gave me a phone number for Joe Schmo up the street and his cousin Vinny. It's like I'm your father's brother's dad's former roommate or whatever Rick Moranis said in Spaceballs.
That's a Mel Brooks Spaceballs reference, Josh.
What?
I know you don't watch his movies, but
oh man!
Trust me, we've had this conversation. Yes,
I'm gonna hang up right now. Like, yeah, you gotta watch Spaceballs. If you're gonna watch any Mel Brooks movie, it's got to be Spaceballs.
Oh, I've seen it
once,
man,
maybe twice.
Such a good movie.
Yep. Yes. Do you have the one that got away?
I have,
as far as items go.
I have one that got away, and that was Dan Aykroyd's flight suit from Ghostbusters 2. That was 10 years. 15 years, something like that ago. I had the opportunity to bid on it. It went up for auction. And $17,000 later, did not get it. His flight suit, I think recently it was re-auctioned and it went for like $61,000 or something like that. Something, or maybe it was in the 40s, but anyways, that's ridiculous. I had that get away. Cool. I've had a couple other props get away from me, but I don't have that type of money, just laying around. When I was looking at the flight suit, it was like, my wife's going to kill me because I'm going to have to take out a second mortgage, like, type of thing. But I wised up since then, and it's like, I'm just going to leave that to the multimillionaires to buy. Yeah.
That's crazy. Wow.
Mm.
I mean, people do bid on stuff like that all the time, I guess.
Yep. It's a thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's just nuts. So do you collect anything else other than Ghostbusters
as we
memorabilia?
Previously discussed, I am kind of a Power Rangers fan. The Mighty Morphin era, nothing really after that. So I do. I have a small collection of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That's a go-to. Lilo and Stitch. I am a huge fan of Stitch 626. Because Ohana means family, and family never gets left behind. So yeah, I'm a huge fan of Stitch, Iron Man, DBZ.
Oh yes.
I am I'm a big Cleveland sports fan up until the Indians are no longer the Indians. So I just stick with the Cavaliers and the Cleveland Browns. I collect. I've met a lot of the players from the teams. I have autographs and stuff like that from them. And I think that's truthfully about it. Aliens. Gotta love Aliens. I do have some Aliens figures from James Cameron's Aliens and Alien 3. Hot Wheels. You know, I'm a car guy. I have a ton of Hot Wheels. But yeah, but they're all in small, like I said, small quantities. I don't have, like, my baseball, football, and basketball stuff sit on 3 shelves. My Aliens and my Stitches. Stitches. I guess they're all up on one shelf, you know, so I don't have a ton of those. My DBZ stuff sits on 2 shelves. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles sit on 3 shelves. So it's not like I have a huge assortment of other things. I usually stick with just Ghostbusters. My Mighty Morphin Power Rangers stuff is packed away because I do have quite a bit of that. And then video games. I do have some. I have a small collection of video games also. Everything from NES to Game Boy to Sega CD. 3DO, Dreamcast, you know, I have a little bit of everything from a couple different systems, Atari, you know. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I love the Atari.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
very
if you
basic,
can
but very fun.
get past, especially now with today's graphics, if you can get past the cubes, you know, and looking at those.
Yeah. Yep. We were actually talking about that the other day. You know, I was watching something on Steve Jobs, and I didn't know that he had actually worked there at one point. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know about everyone else, but the Atari, what was it? The Atari 2500?
2600.
2200, something like that. That's it. Yeah.
There you
go. That
go.
was the first game system I played.
You know, I had a lot of real crappy games for it, but I mean, there are, you have a select few that are really good, you know.
The only thing I remember Atari wise that actually played is a friend of mine had it, and it was a hide and seek game. And to hide, the other person had to leave the room.
Yeah,
because can't go online or anything like that. Then they would come back in and then have to find your character.
Oh yeah,
that's crazy.
Oh, go ahead. Oh, well, I was going to say, if you didn't have the instruction manuals for a lot of those Atari games, you were screwed because you had no idea what was going on. Mm-hmm. The instruction manual actually broke down the story and said, hey, this is what you're doing, this is where you need to go, and this is what you need to get there. And if you didn't have the instruction manual, you were SOL. You did not know what you needed to do, where you needed to go.
Mm-hmm.
But speaking of video games, what did you think of the first Ghostbusters game? What was that? 2000?
You're talking about the
2005?
The one that was the official, unofficial sequel?
Yes. I think that was 2009, I think, is when that came out. I got a copy sitting. Yeah, they did a
2 years ago, I think,
of it. Which I'm trying. I can't remember. I want to say it was 2009 is when it came out. I could be wrong. I'm staring at it. Actually, hold on. Let me see. Right here. Let's see here. 97. Yeah, 2009. It was phenomenal. All the original cast members came back except for Louis Tully, which was played by Rick Moranis, and Sigourney Weaver, which the script had to be changed because she didn't return. At first, she was going to come back as Dana for the video game, Then she turned it down, and then she found out all the originals had signed on to make the video game, and then she tried to come back, and they said, we already written you out of the part. So, what was her name? She was one of the witches in... Oh, God, I'm drawing such a... Melissa Milano. Melissa Milano played Peter Venkman's love interest in the video game. But it was very well done. It was actually parts of that video game were actually part of the script that Dan Aykroyd had originally written for Ghostbusters 3 Hellbent. It was amazing. All the voice actors, like I said, you got Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, Harold Ramis, Ernie Hudson. You had Annie Potts return as Janine. Bill Murray's character, his voice acting, it was a little lazy. You can kind of tell. It was like, it sounded like Bill Murray playing Peter Venkman playing Bill Murray playing Peter Venkman. You know, so it was kind of it's not his best voice work by any means, but the story was great. The graphics were great in the game. I think when it originally came out, it was in like 30 frames per second, and then the remaster bumped it up to 60 frames, which makes the game completely different. But yes, no, it was very, very well done. Very, very true to the original. It was supposed to be Ghostbusters 3, and it was considered a sequel up until Ghostbusters Afterlife had came out, and Jason Reitman said that the comic books and the video game were no longer considered canon because of Afterlife.
Right. Which, I mean, you know, is as much good material as there is. I mean, it works better for that so they can do their own thing. Yeah. I mean, that's what Disney did with Star Wars. I mean, there's so many good stories out there, but the other stories they want to tell, I get why they would do that, you know, so, you know, because not everyone's going to have read every single comic or book or played every game that would have to follow along with that to understand what's going on. So.
Very true. Tell you what, though, I'm excited about the new game, Spirits Unleashed.
The only thing I'm disappointed about it, I think it's going to have a campaign, but it's a 4 versus 1, like Army of Dark, or well, the Evil Dead, not Army of Darkness, but Evil Dead. The Friday the 13th, which is actually made by the same company. The Ghostbusters game is made by the guys that did Friday the 13th.
Okay.
So
that's right.
I am excited for it. It looks really good. I think there's a single player campaign. I don't do any online gaming. I really don't do a whole lot of gaming much anymore, just due to my schedule and everything that I have going on and things I'm trying to get done. And I am married, so I am sure some of the people listening can understand.
We're like that. Well, I'm like that. You're not married, but I am. And of course, you know, working full time too. So.
Oh, okay.
And awesome. We're both in automotive too, so that's kind of crazy. Yeah.
Chevy, Ford, Dodge, Nissan, Toyota. All right.
I'm a Toyota guy personally.
Okay.
I'm American. I like American cars to a degree, depending on which one it is and what year it is. Yeah, you are a Toyota guy.
Every car I've ever owned since I've been able to drive has been Toyota. So either a Corolla or a Camry.
Oh, that's why you've had a bunch of them.
And yeah. The best vehicle I ever had was a Silverado. And, I mean, it was old, but it ran great. It was the best vehicle I ever had. Not gonna look because I
was born and raised GM, and then I've had Nissans most of my life. Also, I'm actually in the process of restoring a 89 Nissan 240SX, and I have a 92 Nissan 240SX also that's completely original.
I saw a picture of those.
Okay,
Of those.
all right.
I think it was on Facebook, maybe. Yeah, check it out.
Yeah,
It
I'll
looks
have to
really
do that.
cool.
Yeah.
So, well, I appreciate you taking time out again to do this after.
Hey, it
we
happens.
botched
It's no
the
big deal. I
audio
don't mind
somehow.
at all. If you guys ever want me on again, you know who to call.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Well, I hope you have a good night, and I guess
All right,
we'll
sounds
talk
good.
to you
I
at some
look
point
forward
soon.
to listening to it and the rest of the podcasts. And yeah, like I said, if you guys ever want me on again, just to geek out for a minute, talk some whatever, Star Wars, Ghostbusters, Spaceballs, you know, or even the new Evil Dead's coming out. You know, maybe we can get on board with that. That would be. I wouldn't mind talking to somebody about that, but yeah, just let me know. You know, like I said, you know who to call. For sure,
Yeah,
sure. You guys take it
Definitely
easy.
keep in touch.
All right, later.
You too.
This show is part of the Redline Media Group Productions family.